Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly fascinating case study in wealth building, the £820,000 portfolio, reverse engineering passive income. Let's get right into it. We're going to break down a massive real-world investment portfolio to see exactly how passive income is built from the ground up. If you've ever wondered what years of consistent investing actually look like when the momentum really gets going, well, you're in the exact right place. We're going to reverse engineer the success of a real investor who just hit their biggest passive income month yet.
Okay, let's dive into this. £820,000. That is the current value of the portfolio we're analyzing today. And look, this isn't some theoretical financial model. It's a real investor's actual account balance. Hitting this number marks a massive milestone, not just in total overall value, but because of what a portfolio of this immense size generates on a monthly basis in pure passive cash flow. You know, the investor actually summed up the feeling perfectly. They said, "Seeing money arrive in my account while I sleep is still one of the most satisfying parts of investing." And honestly, who wouldn't agree with that? This investor just experienced a record-breaking passive income month. And here's the absolute beauty of the whole shebang. They didn't have to work a single extra hour, take on a side hustle, or grind over the weekend to receive these payments. Their previous investments did all the heavy lifting. That's the true emotional and practical appeal of building passive income, right? It's all about separating your time from your money. Moving on to Section 1, Inside the Numbers, breaking down the £65,000 growth. So, let's transition from that flashy final number to the grounded mechanics of how this portfolio actually grew over just the first half of the year. At the start of the year, the portfolio was sitting at approximately £755,000. Today, it's reached £820,000. I mean, that is an incredibly impressive jump of roughly £65,000 in just 6 months. What makes this growth even more remarkable is that the investor achieved it despite the ongoing, everyday market volatility we've all been seeing. The market went up, it went down, but the portfolio's trajectory, it just kept climbing.
Now, what's really interesting about this is exactly where that £65,000 came from. Over those 6 months, the investor contributed £18,000 from their own salary and savings. But the market delivered £47,000 in unrealized gains. Now, these are unrealized because the investor hasn't actually sold anything. Remember, they're investing for the next several decades. But the heavy lifting here was clearly done by the market's growth, not just the investor's paycheck. To put that into perspective, the market made more than double what the investor put in. This perfectly highlights why relying solely on saving your salary is a kind of slow path, while actively investing actually puts your money to work for you.
Next up, Section 2, Fueling the Fire, the Income Streams.
We all know that building multiple income streams is far safer and ultimately way more lucrative than relying on a single monthly paycheck from an employer. This month, the investor's record-breaking passive income was fueled by dividends from a widely diversified set of sectors. We're looking at banking, energy, consumer goods, healthcare, defense, and broad index funds. Some of the absolute biggest payments came from energy companies and high-quality dividend stocks that they've been holding on to for years. These are solid, foundational businesses that just keep rewarding their shareholders with a cut of the profits while simultaneously growing their core operations over the long term. Basically, it's a massive win-win for the long-term holder.
Let's get into Section 3, the compounding cycle. To accelerate wealth building, instead of simply spending their new passive income on luxury items or vacations, this investor relies on compounding. It's the process where investment earnings are reinvested to generate their own earnings over time. Think of the classic metaphor, a snowball rolling down a hill. At first it's small, right? It takes some effort to pack it together and push it to get it moving. But as it rolls, picking up more snow on its own, it gains unstoppable momentum and power. Passive income doesn't happen overnight, but once this snowball gets going, wow, it is literally a force of nature.
The absolutely crucial point here is understanding this exact reinvestment loop. Step 1, earn dividends. Step 2, buy more shares. Step 3, earn larger dividends. Because this investor still relies on a full-time income to cover their daily living expenses, every single dividend payment they receive goes right back into this machine. They aren't spending the cash, they're deploying it to buy more shares, which in turn spit out even larger dividends the next time around. Every single year, this cycle becomes significantly stronger.
Moving right along to Section 4, Strategy over Short-Term Noise.
You know, holding and growing a massive portfolio isn't just about the math. It's heavily dependent on the investor's mindset and behaviors, especially when the market inevitably dips. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference between an amateur and a veteran mindset. On the short-term noise side, we have people frantically trying to predict the market or reacting emotionally to daily volatility. But on the long-term investing side, well, it's almost boring, but it is highly effective. It's all about consistent monthly investing, actively adding funds when prices drop because quality assets are essentially on sale, and maintaining a horizon that spans decades, not days. For instance, this month, the investors simply continued adding to index funds because broad diversification remains one of the safest strategies to insulate yourself from all that short-term noise.
It perfectly highlights a core truth of wealth building. History has shown that patience usually beats panic. Wealth simply isn't created overnight, guys. It requires immense discipline to stay invested, trusting that quality businesses will continue generating profits through both the good months and the bad months. Those profits will eventually find their way back to you through dividends and capital growth, for sure, as long as you don't panic and sell at the worst possible time.
This brings us to Section 5, the road to 1 million. So what's next for a portfolio that has already reached such impressive heights? 1 million pounds. That is the investor's next major portfolio goal. But it's absolutely vital to point out a key detail here. They aren't trying to get rich quickly. The ultimate objective is to build financial security that lasts for decades. Hitting 1 million isn't about buying a fancy yacht or anything like that. It's a marker of long-lasting, unbreakable financial stability.
If there's one ultimate takeaway you should grab from this explainer today, it's this. Small decisions repeated consistently over many years eventually produce extraordinary results. Wealth is built one single investment at a time. Every dividend you reinvest, every monthly deposit you make, regardless of the news, and every market downturn you calmly weather, it all moves you one step closer to absolute financial freedom.
Which brings us directly to you. Seeing this 820,000-pound portfolio broken down really proves that the math genuinely works if you just give it time. So I have to ask, what small financial decision will you make today that your future self will thank you for?